The 93X Half-Ass Morning Show podcast is sponsored by Standard Heating and Air Conditioning.
On behalf of myself and Standard Heating and Air Conditioning, we would like to wish you a very happy holidays. And don't forget, Standard Heating and Air Conditioning is open 24/7 for emergency services to make sure you stay warm this holiday season. Go to standardheating.com today.
The 93X Half-Assed Morning Show Backtracks edition.
Bases loaded, double. Drive to deep left field, way back, and gone.
That's great. Yeah. Added in crowd noise to make Brad Ryder sound legit. We got to tell Dick about that. Tuesdays are busy around here. We got KARE 11 news anchor Randy Shaver. Hi, Randy.
Good morning.
Hello, Randy.
We've got sex education professor Brad Ryder.
Who could have predicted that you would have brought that clip up again today?
Everyone?
We're going to bring it up to Dick Bramer. And also, every Tuesday, Twins television play-by-play pimp Dick Bramer joins us. Hello, Dick.
Morning, fellas.
Morning.
Good morning. You know, one of these days we'd love to have some baseball to talk about when we have you on, for Pete's sake.
Well, I'm basically in the fun and games business, and I have a hard time having fun with no games, but thankfully we'll have two of them today.
Yeah, you know, you don't even know if we're legit yet. You don't even know if we know how to talk baseball yet, because every time we have you on, there's some kind of cancellation.
Yeah. It's you know, we've dealt with the COVID thing this week, and it's going to be interesting to see what happens. The encouraging thing is the Marlins went through something like this last year and came out on the other end of it and won their first 5 games. We'll see, you know, first of all, if the Twins can break Oakland's winning streak of 8. But, you know, this is a team that has not only not played in a few days, but they haven't, you know, had any batting practice, no cage work. Guys who need some attention in the trainer's room haven't been able to get in there. So it'll be an interesting day, to say the least. 7 innings, each game, 7 innings.
Right.
So I still have a hard time adjusting to that. And for those of your listeners who don't really like the 7-inning rule, boy, I think everybody with the Twins organization is glad that it's in effect this year, to not have to do everything that I just said about not having batting practice and training room privileges and all that, and not have to play at least 18 innings. I think 14 will be enough.
Well, how do you keep going through a straight back-to-back doubleheader? Someone bring this.
You know, the challenge, and of course I've been at it long enough to where that used to be the norm. You have a half hour between games, and then they started having split doubleheaders. But
right.
When we had one the other day, honestly, we were filling out our lineup cards during the telecast because the lineups came out late, and we put a graphic up as to, you know, what the batting order is, and you know, the defensive alignment and all that. And it's like, well, let's find out together who's in the lineup. You know, we don't have the time really to even scribble it down. We'll see what happens today. It's like I said, it's going to be an interesting day, and the hope is that the Twins can get back on track here and get back to the 500 mark today.
Right, but you might see a little rust on the boys.
Well, yeah. I mean,
with all that you mentioned, right.
You work out every day in spring training, and you know, frankly, with all the day games, I know this team was looking forward to having some night games on the West Coast, so you can get into a routine with batting practice and infield and all that kind of stuff. And so, you know, to not have that now for a few days makes the challenge even greater.
Yeah, would you prefer just to play a straight doubleheader, or do you prefer some time off, a split doubleheader?
Well, I don't know. When we did one the other day, I was working with Justin Morneau, and of course I always defer to the players, right, because they're the stars of the show.
Right.
I don't know that anybody cares one way or another the difficulty or preference of a broadcaster, but Justin's point was that, you know, it's really tough on the players to have the split doubleheader because you're hot playing a game, and then you cool down, and then you got to fire it up again 3 hours later. But of course, the reason those are played is because you want to get 2 gates of attendance instead of 1. But as a fan, of course, I always, I would wait for the doubleheaders at Met Stadium just to be able to get 2 for the price of 1.
Do you have somebody bringing you, Gatorades or Jack and Cokes or something along the way, when you have them?
Well, if we're at home, that's one thing. We have some ability to have some food, but we're going to be at Target Field tonight for the doubleheader, and there's just going to be a real small number of people who are necessary for our telecast, and so there's going to be nobody else there. So we'll be bringing something along the way, just to maybe throw down a sandwich in between games.
You're tough, man. You're tough. See, you know what? My problem is once I get a meal in me, I just want to go CP times. I just want to go to bed.
Yeah, I fight that too, but thankfully, as long as you got a game to watch, or in this case, watch on television, it's something to keep your brain engaged.
Were you listening to our intro? Did you hear that home run call?
I did, but it was a little distorted, so I wasn't sure whether that was me or somebody else.
That wasn't you. Hell no, that wasn't you.
Wow, that was a compliment. I thought it was him.
You just made Brad's day.
Brad Ryder.
Brad Ryder?
Yeah.
Doing what?
Brad, tell him what happened.
Well, so my son plays for Egan High School, and Egan Television is doing a handful of games. And before the game last week, they had the guy that was supposed to do the game wasn't able to do the game, so I found out about 2 hours before his game that they asked me to do both play-by-play and color. I was solo for Egan TV last week in their game against Apple Valley. So
okay, well, it's fun, isn't it?
It's not bad. I had a good time.
And I think, and Brad, you and I have known each other for a long time, and now I think you believe what I have told you for years, that anybody can do what I do.
Well, see, we were busting his chops last week when he played it for us because we thought he sounded like he was asleep when he was making the call. But then,
well, as I told a few other people, I'm in the setup at the high school that I was at. I was literally about 5 or 6 feet away from parents.
Well, so what, man? Go for it.
It's not like I can sit there and go, "Whoa, that was an awful play by Johnny at third base." You know, I mean, you can't. You've got to tone it down just a little bit.
My son is a minor league broadcaster, and during the winter, he did some high school events as well, just to keep active, because there was nothing else to do. And he dealt with that too. He's getting ready to ramp up his season in Fredericksburg, Virginia, and it's a different world when you have people sitting right next to you who have a vested interest in the outcome of the game.
Yeah, don't defend Brad. He doesn't need any. It was great, Josh, when you added the sound effects. That was. Is there a chance we could hear that again with fake sound effects?
With the sound effects?
If you could. I'm not trying to put you on the spot, but
sure.
So Dick can get a better idea what.
This was a home run call, Dick. There was a home run call.
Yeah, what kind of competition he's got out there.
He says loaded double. Drive to deep left field, way back, and gone.
What do you think about that? He said, gone, like that.
Okay.
Yeah. That's what we said.
Do you want to hear
I've never had a home run call. Brad, I think you need to come up with something, a signature phrase that when someone hits a home run, so you could put your stamp on the home run.
Maybe we could task the Brotherhood with coming up with one in case I have to do another game.
Oh, that's a great idea.
And then
it's going to be all filth, dude. It'll be all filth.
It'll all be Sexiest.
Remember, this is a high school game you're calling.
It'll be nothing you can repeat. But that's a good idea. Maybe we'll see what they come up with. It was, Brad, you did all right. We're just trying to poke fun at you a little bit. And
I may have to do another one or two, I just found out, so I'll let you know.
Oh, this will be
back
good.
by popular demand.
Yeah.
Well, I think you should ask your listeners for some input for a home run call for Brad.
Yeah, text us real quick if you have a home run call for Brad, and we can say it in front of Dick Bramer. We are 68683. Start your message with Nick, Josh, or Dana. Let's see if we can collect something here before we have to let Dick go in about 10 minutes. So you did all right, Brad. Dick, you never came up with, that's the thing now. You're well aware of this, a catchy, hip home run slogan. Why did you never? Did you just say, it's not me, I'll just stay? Because there's nothing wrong with just, sticking with a regular call. In my opinion.
Well, I think, and I, again, started a long, long time ago, but I decided right away that every home run I would see, and I didn't know if it would be 5 or 5,000, but every home run I would see would be different than any other. The count would be different, the pitcher would be different, the situation, the score, the location of where the ball landed, all of it would be different. So why would I come up with a home run call that would try to make them all sound the same? And hey, there's some great home run calls out there, and God bless the announcers that have come up with them. But I just decided that it would hopefully I would have a long career at this, and that I didn't really want the viewers to get tired of a home run call.
Yeah,
so
that's
I
a good point.
Whether it was the right decision or not, I don't know, but I'm sure not going to start now.
For Pete's sake, I think you've done just fine. Okay, Brad Ryder, Dick Bramer, Randy Shaver, what do you think of slammo whammo when the ball goes over the fence?
Well, it's if Brad's comfortable with it. That's the key.
Well, but
maybe Brad should try each of them out. Maybe we should listen to Brad saying them.
Yeah, try slammo whammo.
I can't do it on the spot. You got to give me.
He's shy.
Well, I tell you what.
Because what you're going to do is you're going to record all of these and then play them back to me.
So I'm writing these down now. I may go ahead and use slammo whammo tonight.
Man, if you did that, we would die.
Yeah, I think I'd probably die too. But
Brad gets so shy sometimes. Now there's hockey ref Jesus. This is a good one. I wonder if anyone's ever used this. You just say, "I like dingers." Now, that's a reference to that Little League ball player from a couple... Do you know who I'm talking about?
Right.
Yeah. Yep.
The little
I
kid...
like turtles.
Well, not I like turtles.
I like turtles.
No.
That's what I thought you meant.
There was a Little League... Dick, you remember this? There was a Little League ball player a couple years ago in the Little League World Series, and the kids all step up to the camera and introduce themselves, and the kid said, "Hey, my name's Donnie Jones, and I hit dingers." That's what he said.
Right, yeah, I remember that.
Yeah. So that's kind of fun.
His name's Big Al.
Big Al. What about whammy? You say whammy, Brad.
Whammy's good. I still like slam. What was the first one?
Slammo whammo.
I like slammo whammo the best.
Well, we got a ways to go.
Yeah. But Dick, you should use one of these if someone hits one out tonight.
You're free to steal any of these.
I think that the slammo whammo would be a really good one for you to use, Brad.
Well, I mean, like I said, there's not a lot of these I'm comfortable saying in front of Dick Bramer.
No, not at all.
A lot of references to underwear and things like that.
There's a reference to a clip we play. Brad is, that one.
Man.
We're not going to talk about it. Not going to talk about it. So, Brad, maybe we'll get back to you on these. We'll get back to you.
All right.
When we're not in polite company.
When we're not in polite. Exactly. Well, I was wondering, Brad got thrown into a situation there where he wasn't, completely prepared, and he's going to pay for it for the rest of his career here on the radio. Dick, you've called a little bit of everything over your day. Have you? Was there ever like a last-minute situation when you were thrown into, I don't know who's who or what's what, but you had to make the best of it?
We've tragically had some things happen right before game time that we've had to deal with, and we had one this spring when Mike Bell, the bench coach for the Twins, passed away shortly before we hit the air. We were infamously, I guess, we were getting ready to do a game years ago, and we found out right before game time that the 35W bridge collapsed, those types of things are really, really tough because, as I said, we're in the fun and games business, and we find ourselves dealing with some, tragic situations and, sad situations and all that. When I've done a lot of things, I've enjoyed every sporting event I've ever done, even though I'm totally unqualified to speak eloquently or intelligently about women's gymnastics. Thankfully, when I did those years ago, I was paired with, in this case, it was Robin Hubner, who was an All-American gymnast at Minnesota. And so, you find yourself frankly, ignorant about the event you're covering. But if you're with a good analyst, somehow you can get by.
Sure. Are you familiar, Dick, with Randy, Red Deer Randy? What the hell's his last name? Moeller.
Yeah.
Red Deer Randy Moeller, who I don't know if he still does it, but he was the lead announcer for the Florida Panthers.
Okay, yeah, no, I'm not aware of him, nope.
Boy, do you still have any of those sitting around, Josh?
Yeah, I'm looking for him.
Randy Moeller played in the NHL, and he's been, I don't know, look it up, Wapple, see if he's still doing Florida Panthers hockey. But he had a thing going where he had Panthers fans just send him an email with a movie quote or whatever, and he would incorporate it into the goal calls. We had him on the air years ago. It seemed like a really good guy, and it became a real popular thing with Panthers fans. So that's kind of what we're doing here with listeners texted in for Brad. I was just bringing it up in case, Josh, you had a couple of favorites over there that
I think that might be a computer ago.
Oh, I see. It happens. I remember.
You guys are aware of the TV show. I think it's still in production. Brockmire.
Yeah.
Hank Azaria playing the play-by-play guy.
Yeah.
And that all started as a video, and his shtick was he used a line from The Godfather for every broadcast. And it kind of poked a little fun at I think, home run calls.
I'd have to see more of that program. I've certainly heard of it. Uh-oh.
There you go.
Godfather theme. Oh, man. Well, Dick, before we let you go, you know what we were talking about a couple days ago? We were talking about, just for a minute or two, we talked about the left field dome dog Chuck Knobloch target practice from a few years. From how many years ago was that now?
Oh, boy, Tom Kelly was still managing, so it had to have been late 90s, I would guess. Yeah, it could have been. Yeah.
Brad, don't interrupt Dick Bramer when he's trying.
When I actually know the answer to a question, I'm going to tell you.
I know you like to get in there. 2001, you say?
Yeah, it was, because I was with the club then, and Dick's right, it was when Tom Kelly was managing, so it was 2001.
Was that one of the craziest things either one of you had ever seen at a ball game?
Well, it was for me. I mean, we had, Bob Casey was the public address announcer, and he scolded the fans. And Tom Kelly walked down the left field line and wagged his fingers at the crowd in that general area. And, not all the fans were throwing the hot dogs at Knobloch. And to be honest with you, I think it was the whole idea was generated by a radio station, a morning show. And it really was unfortunate because I think we made a good impression on baseball fans around the world when we won a World Series in 87 and 91, and we didn't rush the field and we didn't do this. We just stood and cheered and behaved ourselves, and that was way over the line, I thought. And Tom came out of the dugout, and Tom didn't come out of the dugout when we won a World Series. He came out of the dugout and walked down the line. He was really upset about that, and I don't blame him.
Well, I didn't remember that there was a radio station connection. Jesus Christ, was it us?
I don't know. It wasn't us.
Okay, good.
I've never heard that before.
No, neither had I. Oh, man. Yeah, that was a real gong show. Well, Dick, we wish you the best of luck today. It's going to be back-to-back games starting at 5:30. Twins in the Athletics on Bally Sports North. Man, I love talking to you, and we look forward already to talking to you next week.
Yeah, I look forward to it too, guys. It's hopefully we'll get this season resumed and with no more interruptions. And I think this team's going to be a fun team to watch, but it's hard to say that when they're not on TV. So we'll get back to business here this afternoon.
Keep them going out there, Dick. Thank you.
All right, guys.
Thank you.
Half-assed morning show.
They're loud, they lose control, they do their little circus act, they're a nuisance.
93X.
Grace here, customer service rep at Standard Heating. I'm proud to work for a company that understands and takes care of our fellow Minnesotans. Our weather here can be a little unpredictable and even extreme. That's why we've been here for 93 years and counting, to keep our community safe and comfortable.
On behalf of myself and Standard Heating and Air Conditioning, we would like to wish you a very happy holidays. And don't forget, Standard Heating and Air Conditioning is open 24/7 for emergency services to make sure you stay warm this holiday season. Go to standardheating.com today.
So right now may be the perfect time for you to rethink how you pay for health care. And here's why. Not only is it open enrollment for a lot of people, it's also a time you can join MediShare and save even more than usual. For many families, switching to MediShare saves about $500 a month, which is a game changer for a lot of people. And what's more, they like it. MediShare has double the member satisfaction rate compared to health insurance. double. Metashare is a proven thing, too, for over 30 years. It's a Christian community of more than 400,000 members. And here's the thing. If you join before December 30th and you mention the promo code SHARE, you'll get another 10% off all of 2024. That's 12 months of savings. So I'll give you the number here in a second, but call. You'll get a price within 2 minutes. And again, the deadline is December 30th. So call now. You'll save even more. Here's the number. 844-43-BIBLE. That's 844-43-BIBLE. 844-43-BIBLE.
The 93X Half-Assed Morning Show, Backtracks Edition.
They did it again. NFL season on the way now. Yeah, they did it again. Somebody's ranking the best football movies ever. You still want to bother going through with this kind of stuff?
Yeah, I enjoy this.
Okay, good.
I love sports movies.
Yeah, me too. Football movies. All right. I got a top 20 here. I have no idea how this absolute steaming pile of horse manure from Calgary would make any list. I don't care if it's a top 1,000 football movies. There's no way that Necessary Roughness, speaking of Sinbad, there's no way Necessary Roughness should make the top 20. That movie sucks eggs.
While you're describing it, I was going to say, I bet anybody that it'll be a movie I like. I do like Necessary
No, you
Roughness.
don't.
Yeah.
Come on.
It's stupid, but
I
it's
get
fun.
it. You're quirky. You like Yoshi and you like Vin Diesel. I get it. It's enough.
It's funny.
God, it's not funny.
That's Scott Bakula. That's the other guy in that one.
Number 19 is also, it's a horrible movie. I mean, it's a true story and it's touching, but the acting is just Radio. Did you guys see Radio?
No.
It was good.
Cuba Gooding Jr.
It was good.
It's horrible.
It's not horrible.
Yeah. Number 18, never saw it. The Express.
Never even heard of it.
Who was that about Randy Shaver? A Syracuse running back?
Is that about? Yes.
I can't think of the guy's name, and I feel like a damn jackass.
Ernie Davis?
Ernie Davis.
That's it.
Yes.
Number 17, Adam Sandler's effing Longest Yard, which never should have happened.
I love that movie.
Shut up.
I'm sorry.
16, Jerry Maguire. It was okay, right?
Yeah. I don't really consider it too much of a football movie, but yeah.
Well, he's a football agent.
Yeah, football agent.
It deals with 15, never saw it, Little Giants. I'm guessing that's one of Dana's favorites.
That is a good movie.
That's a classic.
14, I'm sorry. This is awful. Again, one of the worst acted movies I've ever seen in my life. How James Caan, didn't he recently die?
Yes. Yeah. Well, he's been dead for a while.
Oh, I thought it was only like a week or so. James Caan?
He was up in Calgary.
How long's he been dead? 2 weeks, a month, maybe at the most?
July 6th.
Oh, God, yeah, a month.
Yeah.
How James Caan got talked into being part of the program, I have no idea.
Yeah, that movie's rough.
Oh, my damn. 13, never saw it, Draft Day.
Terrible.
So
Kevin
stupid.
Costner. Terrible.
It's so hilarious.
Okay.
Bad.
I'm glad that someone else finds
Such
a movie.
a bad movie.
Good.
Yeah.
So I don't sound like the only one who...
Yeah. Bad movie.
12 is good, The Blind Side.
Oh,
Yes.
yeah. Classic.
Very good.
Always makes me cry.
11, I haven't seen it since I was a little kid. Speaking of making you cry, Brian's song
Yes. Classic.
about Brian Piccolo, Chicago Bears. 10, never saw it all the way through, but I hear good things. Any Given Sunday.
I like that movie.
That's a cool
good
one.
Never seen it.
9 is decent. Varsity Blues.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whipped cream bikinis. How can you go wrong? I think they played football in it, too.
Yeah.
Anytime you mention that movie, that's the first thing everybody says. Whipped cream bikini.
Speaking of James Caan, his son is in that movie. I can't think of his first
Scott.
name. Scott. Number 8, Burt Reynolds' Longest Yard, which should be number 1.
Good flick.
Number 7, We Are Marshall, never saw it.
Oh, that's a
Very,
good one.
very,
good.
very, very good movie.
Yep. Matthew McConaughey.
Kind of lights out in it.
Very good movie.
I have no idea how this makes the list so high, because this movie was awful as well. Number 6, Invincible with Mark Wahlberg.
Like Invincible?
I'm with you.
Marky Mark?
That
Bad
movie
movie.
it's
Bad movie.
piss poor.
Maybe I'm biased. I just like anything with
Absolutely
Mark Wahlberg
awful.
in it.
Yes.
Horrible acting, horrible everything. 5, the effing water boy, because suckers fall for Adam Sandler's nonsense all over.
Even I admit I don't like that one at all.
Sucks.
4, never saw it, but I hear good things. The Replacements with Keanu Reeves.
Yeah, that's a fun one.
Yep.
3, wildly overrated, Rudy.
Yeah, I don't care for Rudy at all.
Good.
2 is very good. Friday Night Lights, very
Yes.
good.
Oh, love it.
Remember the Titans has to be number 1.
It is, Randy.
Yeah.
I just watched that movie for the first
It's
time
a
with my son.
sensational movie.
What'd you think? Did you and your son like it?
Oh, yeah. Loved it.
Sensational.
Well, I love Denzel. So.
Yeah.
I would put Friday Night Lights before Remember the Titans.
No way.
I loved Friday Night Lights. Booby Miles.
I ain't mad at you, Wapple. I've never seen Remember the Titans, but I do think that Friday Night Lights is that good. Really, I'm not joking. I really do think it's that good.
I was laughing at something else because I remember I first read the book Friday Night Lights for a book report, and
Dork.
I loved it. And then the movie came out. I'm like, well, there's no way the movie's going to be as good. And then I watched the movie, and I loved the movie. And then they made a TV show about it. I'm like, okay, there's no way they're going 3 for 3 here.
Did they go 3 for 3?
It's one of my favorite shows ever. They went 3 for 3.
The TV show's good, too.
Yeah, TV show's fantastic.
Yep.
That's with who's the guy, the main star of the TV show?
Chandler, what's his name? Friday Night.
Kyle Chandler.
Kyle Chandler, there it is.
Now, The Last Boy Scout, can't that be counted as a football movie?
Kinda.
When I Google football movies, that's one of the one that pops up here.
Yeah.
Also, what about Ace Ventura?
Big time.
Huh?
What about Air Bud?
No, hey, if you're going to say the name, say it right. It's Air Bud Golden Retriever.
No, is it receiver?
Yeah, receiver.
Receiver. Well, that's the football version.
Hey, Janelle, aren't you glad you got up early this morning?
Yes.
Well, what are we doing wrong now?
It's a football movie. Just because a dog plays it doesn't mean it doesn't count.
Well, how much?
Think of all the things you could have done, Janelle, that could have been meaningful this morning.
I think Janelle would like the Air Bud movies.
Do you guys remember when I first started doing this show and you insisted that I watch Ernest Goes to Camp?
We did? I don't remember that at all.
I don't think that was us.
It was you guys.
Why would we do that?
I don't know.
Like to mess with you?
I don't know.
I mean, I liked it when I was a little kid.
You were mad that I hadn't seen it, and you were like, go watch Ernest Goes to Camp.
I don't remember that at all.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
That's. I apologize, whoever idea that was. That's.
It was Ross's.
Oh, well.
We can't be speaking ill of the dead.
R.I.P.
Well, back to Air Bud real quick. How much does it cost for a ticket?
$1.
Is it $1?
It's only $1.
Well, that means I can bring 2 of my friends.
Yay.
How much for 3 tickets, Randy, for Air Bud? Yay. That means I can bring 4 of my friends.
So people are saying, oh, you're just going to forget this movie, this movie. It was football movies. Football movies.
What are they saying?
Well, like Basketball, The Sandlot,
No. It's football movies. Open up your ears. What are you listening from Edmonton?
Calgary.
You know what they missed? I'll tell you what they missed on the greatest football movies of all time. I'll tell you right now. It's called Everybody's All-American.
Which one's that?
Pardon me?
Which one is that?
What do you mean, which one is that?
I've never seen that one.
Oh, interesting way to ask that question. It's from the mid-'80s. It's
Dennis Quaid.
Dennis Quaid.
Jessica Lange.
Jessica Lange. The story of the Gray Ghost, Gavin Gray, who was a terrific running back at LSU, and then the trials and tribulations of the football life. It's really, really good. John Goodman is in the movie. Really, really good. I don't know why that movie is forgotten about. Maybe because it was too long ago, but then again, we're talking about The Longest Yard. Not that anyone should ever forget about The Longest Yard.
Was it too much of a stretch to count Dazed and Confused as a football movie?
Yes. Why would that be a football movie?
Because Pink plays football, and the whole thing is about whether he's going to keep playing on the team or not, or he's going to do his own thing.
Well, wouldn't you say the whole thing's about smoking pot and getting laid?
True, yeah. But, I mean, most of
that was kind of like his St. Cloud State experience as well.
Most of Ace Ventura is about, tracking down pets.
Well, I was joking around
I know.
about Ace Ventura.
Oh, American Underdog, people are saying. The Kurt Warner story.
Yeah.
I like that
I
movie.
still haven't seen that one.
That actually was a good movie.
It was.
I watched it, and I was very skeptical about it, but it actually was good.
A few people have texted in. Did you mention the program? Yeah, I mentioned it. It sucks. That's how we mention it. Please don't tell me you're serious about liking the program.
Somebody says, what about the movie Wildcats?
Oh, gosh, Goldie Hawn.
Yeah, that's... Well, when I was in 9th grade, I thought that was pretty funny.
Yeah, I liked it too.
Goldie Hawn,
Woody
Harrelson,
Harrelson,
Wesley Snipes.
Yep.
Who am I missing? Nipsey Russell.
Nipsey Russell.
Right. That's his catchphrase in the movie.
Exactly.
The 93X Half-Assed Morning Show, Backtracks Edition.
Have any of you ever been big Saturday Night Live fans?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, back in the day.
I still watch it. I certainly was a bigger fan in the olden days.
Yeah,
but I
see-
do still watch it every Saturday, just in case there's something for the show.
Wapple, what's your version of back in the day?
I would say like when Will Ferrell and stuff was on there.
Okay, I don't know when that was. Late 90s then? Late 90s,
Yeah,
right?
somewhere around there.
I've seen the show like twice, maybe.
Is that right?
Yeah.
So, but have you seen a lot of the bits like on YouTube?
No.
And when Chris Farley was on there too.
Okay, mid 90s to late 90s.
I love the lunch lady bit.
I don't know the lunch lady bit.
Lunch lady land.
Yeah.
I've heard people
Hoagies
say
and
lunch lady.
grinders, Hoagies and grinders, navy beans, navy beans.
Who did that?
Meatloaf
Who was the?
sandwich. Sandler and Farley was floating around as the lunch lady.
That sounds
Sandler
like
singing.
something Sandler would do.
I don't remember that one.
No, I've heard it said out loud. Yeah, for me personally, I was big into the Blues Brothers as a young guy, so I loved that bit. And then I've never been really huge on Saturday Night Live, but there was a stretch of time in the early 80s when I never missed it because of people like Eddie Murphy and things like that. Josh was just saying yesterday that the show wrapped up its 47th year or something like that. I mean, would that be the right math? They started
Close,
in
yeah.
75, and some cast members are moving on. I don't know who they are because I don't watch the show. I know you said it yesterday, Josh. I apologize, but...
Pete Davidson, Kyle Moody, A.D. Bryant, and
Kate McKinnon.
Kate McKinnon.
Ranker had their subscribers vote for the best cast members of all time, and it looks like they've carved out a top 15 top cast members in the history of Saturday Night Live, and they start with Dinkus. Someone just said his name a minute ago, Adam Sandler. They start with Adam Sandler as the 15th best.
He had a good run on that show, early 90s.
Love Adam Sandler.
Can't stand the sight of him.
He's got his moments for sure.
From 90 to 95, Adam Sandler. At number 14, they go with Kristen Wiig.
Very funny.
Who has more talent in the tip of her pinky than 100 Adam Sandlers. Kristen Wiig was on that show for 7-8 years, 2005 to 2012. I really like her style. She's very, very funny. 13. Amy Poehler.
Yeah, she's great.
I don't have a problem with Amy Poehler, but there's a glaring omission on this list that I would have at least put there.
There's a few, Josh, because once I roll through the top 15 here, according to the folks who dial into ranker.com, I'm going to roll through some. Because my God, 47 years now, there have been so many people who have come and gone, some of them very quickly. But there have been so many cast members that I think really deserve a little more credit. I'm with you. I'm looking forward to hearing the grand omission that you were just
there's
to.
quite a few.
Yeah.
There's one that came to mind right away, and the more I thought about it, there's actually plenty that should have been higher up. But I know I think Ranker works where it's their readers vote.
Yeah, you can
right?
vote
Isn't
people
that how
up
it
and
goes?
down, yep.
Amy Poehler, number 13. Number 12, Bill Hader. Folks love Bill Hader, right?
Yeah, he's good.
Just heard him on Conan's podcast.
Yep.
Been loving the new season of Barry, that show where he plays the hitman.
I just started it.
It's pretty good.
Oh, yeah.
It takes a while to get used to seeing Bill Hader run around as a precision killer because you're used to him just being the goofball that's cracking up on Saturday Night Live. But you can tell he put the training in. He looks legit with the guns in his hands.
Yep.
So it's not comedic in any form?
It's funny, like in a dark way.
Oh, dark comedy.
Oh, I like that.
All right. Well, I love dark comedies. Bill Hader, very funny guy. He was on the show for 6-7 years, 2005 to 2013. Number 11, Gilda Radner, who died very young, and I can't remember what killed Gilda Radner. She was one of the original cast members, 1975 to 1980. The one character I remember from Gilda Radner was Rosanna Dana. You recall that one, Josh?
Very funny.
Looks like ovarian cancer, age of 42.
For Pete's sake.
That's not funny.
Too young.
No. Number 10, Dana Carvey.
Yeah, president of the Male Dana Club.
He's the big guy?
Yeah, he's the big cheese. Yep.
Where does Dana White fall on that list?
Very far down the list. I don't care for that guy too much. we stopped inviting him to the meetings.
What about Dana Plato?
Oh, God, you're going to be mad at me because I don't know who that is.
That is...
Kick him in the wiener.
One wiener kick.
One of Cubby's first crushes, Dana Carvey. Dana Plato? I lost it.
I think it's Plato.
Plato, yeah. I don't know why I wanted to call her Dana Pluto. She played Kimberly on the hit sitcom Different Strokes.
Okay, I just looked her up.
Dana Carvey was never really my style. He was on the show for from 86 to 93, but I get it. Number 9, his partner in the, what was their combo again?
Wayne and Garth?
Wayne and Garth. We got Mike Myers at number 9. Had some great stuff on Saturday Night Live, Mike Myers.
Oh, I like him.
8 is John Belushi, an original cast member. He was on the show from 75 to 79 and died very young and horribly from drugs. I'm not trying to start trouble, but I never was all that crazy about John Belushi. And I'll get back to you on that. Number 17 of Faye.
I
She's
love
awesome.
her.
Legend.
Gosh, we were just talking about her.
Yeah, one of the funniest people around.
So good.
6, another guy who checked out awful young, although I believe my memory serves me, he was murdered, Phil Hartman.
Yep. Very, very funny guy.
By a Minnesotan.
Oh.
Sadly enough.
Gosh. Had Minnesota.
He was on the show from 86 to 94, and the man was just terrific. His delivery was perfect, and he was great at playing deadpan type characters, Phil Hartman. 5, Dan Aykroyd from 75 to 79. And here's where I'll go back to the Belushi thing. For me personally, aside from Elwood Blues, I can't say that Dan Aykroyd really ever thrilled me. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, I've seen old clips from him and stuff. Like the one that I always think of is when he was like a TV pitchman selling the Bassmatic 76.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Josh, your thoughts?
Yeah, I liked him enough.
I just never thought that he was the kind of guy that could really just stand on his own. Again, I'm the biggest Blues Brothers fan you'll ever meet. Belushi and Aykroyd together as the Blues Brothers were effing genius. Absolute genius. It's just beyond that, I really can't say that. 4 is Eddie Murphy from 80 to 84. And Eddie Murphy was, when he was young, it was just unbelievable. My favorite character being Mr. Robinson from Mr. Robinson's Neighborhood back in those days. 3, he wasn't on the show long, and during those years, he was more or less a kind of a second character. I don't know the term, you know what I'm saying? Like he wasn't.
The sketches didn't always revolve around him. He was kind of a secondary player in a lot
that
of
would
the
be
bits.
Bill Murrah.
Mm-hmm.
Bill Murrah, number 3.
I think he's that high on the list just because everything he's done since then. If we were talking just Saturday Night Live accomplishments, I don't think Bill Murray, as you call him, would be that high. Just because he was very short. He wasn't there for very long.
Very, very funny. Don't get me wrong. I mean, Bill Murray's one of the funny. 2 is Will Ferrell.
Mm-hmm.
He had some great stuff on Saturday Night Live. And number 1, they're going with Farley, who was wildly funny on that show.
Yeah, I can't argue with that one.
Mm-hmm.
So what cast member from the history of Saturday Night Live, Josh, who was the first one that came to mind that you thought, damn, they deserved a little bit better on that ranker list?
Well, 2, the first one that came to mind, mostly because he recently passed, Norm Macdonald.
Oh, yeah.
I think should have been on. And Chevy Chase, who's one of my all-time favorites.
Yeah, that's the thing. Chevy Chase was the star of the first season of Saturday Night Live. I don't think there was any question about that. But was he only on 1 or 2 seasons?
2 years.
It was just a couple.
Yeah, he didn't stick around long.
John Lovitz.
Oh, my God.
Kevin Nealon. David Spade.
Yeah, Spade was good.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, was Martin Short was on Saturday Night Live, right?
Oh, my damn. Yes. Now, I never was a big Nealon guy, but if you listen to this program, you know Josh and I, John Lovitz, we don't need the man to say a word. John Lovitz. Martin Short was so incredibly funny on that show. He simply is one of the funniest men that have ever lived. Martin Short is an effing genius.
I mean, Kevin Nealon's Mr. Subliminal, that bit was genius, speaking of genius. I loved that bit.
What was Ed Grimley? Do you remember the character Ed Grimley that Martin Short portrayed on Saturday Night? Anybody?
Barely.
No. Oh, my God. I used to imitate that as a child. I loved Ed Grimley. he talked like this, and he said things like, I must say, if you're old enough to remember, you know what I'm talking about. I'm just going to roll through some of the other names. Jim Brewer. Now, I've never really dug his style, but everyone was crazy about Jim Brewer for a while on Saturday Night Live.
Yep. I'm with you on that one. Yeah, he wasn't one of my, but he definitely had his moments, that's for sure.
Here's one that, I just think too much time has passed for some of these names to be remembered. And I'm just going to imagine that the majority of people who are on Ranker are a little younger.
Yeah.
But maybe I'm wrong, because they did throw names like Gilda Radner and things like that into their top 15. Maybe I'm wrong. But Billy Crystal was incredible on Saturday Night Live for a couple years. Billy Crystal's characters.
God, I guess I never realized he was on there.
Oh, my damn. You look marvelous. Remember that one, Josh?
Love that one.
And I think his best bit on Saturday Night Live, and again, if you're a little younger, you'll have no idea what I'm talking about. I think he and Christopher Guest, who, part of Spinal Tap, Christopher Guest, and he was in, what was the dog show movie? Best in Show.
Oh,
and
yeah. Uh-huh.
Christopher Guest is lights out funny. He and Billy Crystal played the bumbling apartment repairman duo, Josh, where it wasn't about what they did. They would have these conversations where Billy Crystal would say, when you're you're sawing at the webbing between your toes with an X-Acto knife, and then you pour some Tabasco sauce on top of it? I hate when that happens.
Yep, I know what you mean.
And then the other guy would say, it's like the other day I took one of those, and Billy Crystal would say, staplers? And he'd say, yeah, and I just started stapling my eyelids shut. I hate when that happens. If we could find some audio on that, that was... Jane Curtin was great as a straight character. Jane Curtin.
People are texting in Steve Martin. Now, he was never on the show as a cast member, was he?
No, he was
just,
not.
No.
Like a special guest and a host.
He's hosted like 15 times, damn.
Steve Martin was never a cast member. But I'm just going to bomb through some of these names, and some of them didn't last long. And some of them, they didn't last long for good reason. It just didn't work. But one of them would be Robert Downey Jr., who now is one of the biggest effing stars in the world. Chris Elliott.
I love Chris Elliott.
Is a genius.
I forgot he was on there.
It didn't last long, I don't think, for Chris Elliott. Maybe 1 year.
I was just quoting some Chris Elliott a couple days ago from Cabin Boy.
Oh, God, Cabin Boy.
That is so underrated. Although I wonder if I watch it now if I would think it was terrible. At the time, I really enjoyed it.
What was his sitcom where he lived with his parents?
Something Life.
Yeah, Get a Life.
Was that it?
Effing Chris Elliott. Okay, Jimmy Fallon was on that show forever, was he not?
He was, yeah.
Was he just not that memorable, or what would you say? I never watched Jimmy Fallon on.
God, his bit with Sean Hayes, the Jeffries, or whatever it was.
I don't know that one.
They run an uptight store, and they tell everyone to get out of the store, and then Will Ferrell comes in with his small phone.
Okay,
I don't remember that.
Oh, it's so funny.
I think he was pretty polarizing on that show because he would break constantly. You mean he would start laughing during he couldn't contain himself.
Right. That makes sense.
Some people found that really endearing and kind of charming. Other people found it very, very annoying.
That's funny. That's the same thing with Kenan Thompson.
Mm-hmm.
I love Kenan Thompson, but people criticize him because he can't hold back his laugh. I think it's funny that the guy can't.
I think it's more accepted. I remember, I can't remember who I was listening to. Somebody from one of the cast had talked about how Lorne Michaels hated it.
Right. He would just freak out because he thought you were trying to draw more attention to yourself and you're taking away from the bit.
And then Jimmy Fallon kind of, I guess, loosened up that take. But yeah, he was by far the worst offender as far as that goes. I mean, he wouldn't just kind of crack a smile. He'd be crying. He'd be dying over it.
That's what he did in the Jeffries bit a lot.
Yeah, he could not keep it together.
Yeah.
More SNL characters. Will Forte. Don't you love him, Dana?
Yeah, I love Will Forte. Very funny guy.
Al Franken. Of course, Stuart Smalley is one of my favorite characters ever.
Tracy Morgan is coming in via text. He was funny.
Tracy Morgan was so funny, and I like I said, I only sporadically visited Saturday Night Live since the mid-'80s. Just once in a while I'd run into a little bit of this or that. One of my favorite bits of all time, Tracy Morgan is living under a manhole. He's living under the street, and Britney Spears visits him in his little manhole house. Anyone follow that?
Yeah.
Oh, my God, and he sings some song about a doo-doo pie? Oh, God. I think he ate a doo-doo pie. He was singing about eating a Gilbert Gottfried, the recently passed Gilbert Gottfried, he was not a regular, he was like a bit character, but I mentioned Christopher Guest. Anthony Michael Hall didn't last long. Here's a guy who I think is very well thought of amongst comedians and comedy actors, Daryl Hammond.
Yeah, he was great.
Colin, is it Jost?
Jost, yeah, he's funny. He and Michael Che, or Shea?
Che.
Those guys, when they write jokes for each other,
it's the best.
It's awesome, but so uncomfortable.
So cringy.
Colin gets it the worst by far.
He's been on the show for a long time, this guy.
I think he's the head writer right now, too.
Oh, really?
And he's married to what's-her-nuts?
Scarlett Johansson.
Yeah,
Oh, that's got to be a total nightmare.
And he owns the most punchable face of all time.
Oh, he's a good-looking dude. I hear what you're saying, because he looks like a frat boy.
He does. He's got a very frat boyish vibe to him.
And he gets
for sure.
crap for that a lot.
Yeah, he owns it, too. Like, he brings it up himself.
This is an acquired taste, and I'm just throwing these names out there. I'm not saying that I was one way or the other. Chris Kattan was on the show for a long time. Had some decent stuff.
You know, plenty of texts are coming in with his name.
Seth Meyers, doesn't he host a show now?
Yep.
After Fallon.
Dennis Miller? Although I could never really get into Dennis Miller, but I mean,
I liked him on Saturday Night Live enough.
Yeah.
It's kind of after that.
Right.
I wasn't as much of a fan of what he was doing.
His news, he was the anchor on the Saturday Night Live news. I mean, that was where he found his groove. Joe Piscopo, was it? I mean, he gets made fun of a lot, and he has been made fun of a lot for years. But his Frank Sinatra bit was unbelievable there in the 80s. Chris Rock.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought he was on the list. Maybe I just assumed he would be.
No, not on the top 15.
Should have been.
Another guy, I'm not familiar with much of his stuff, but I thought he just hit it out of the park when he was on Saturday Night Live, this Andy Samberg guy.
Yeah. Especially their, like those, what's the name of the group? Yeah, Lonely Island bits. Just yesterday, my wife and I were joking about D in the Box.
Yeah.
That's such a good bit.
I got to see those guys at concert when they played the Armory a few years back, and that was one of the funniest, best concerts I've ever been to in my life.
And I know,
just hilarious.
Dana, you love Cecily Strong.
Oh yeah, she's my girlfriend. She doesn't know that though. Yeah, she should be at least in the top 30, I would imagine. She's very funny.
And there's one more that I thought was interesting that it didn't get more votes, but there's so many people to choose from, and the top 15 that we read from Ranker, you can't really argue too much with most on the list, with the exception of Sandler, of course. This gal I've always found to be so funny, and that's Molly Shannon.
Yeah.
She's great. Man,
was she fun. She's still funny.
She was also recently on the oh my God, Conan O'Brien podcast. There's another, it's killing me that I can't remember her name, another very popular female, Maya Rudolph. Yeah, Maya Rudolph.
I had this one name I jotted down when we started talking about
really?
this.
Okay.
Yeah, she's great.
Mm-hmm.
But you got Native Restoration Jesus is texted in, and he says, all you got to do is say John Lovitz, and I crack up laughing.
Yeah, because you could picture his face.
Can't forget about Bill Hader. We didn't forget about Bill Hader. We mentioned him. He didn't make, or no, he was in the top 15.
Yep.
Something about this and that. Eat a doo-doo pie. Tracy Morgan sang to Britney Spears.
Half-assed morning show.
They're loud, they lose control, they do their little circus act. They're a nuisance.
93X.
Grace here, customer service rep at Standard Heating. I'm proud to work for a company that understands and takes care of our fellow Minnesotans. Our weather here can be a little unpredictable and even extreme. That's why we've been here for 93 years and counting, to keep our community safe and comfortable.
On behalf of myself and Standard Heating and Air Conditioning, we would like to wish you a very happy holidays. And don't forget, Standard Heating and Air Conditioning is open 24/7 for emergency services to make sure you stay warm this holiday season. Go to standardheating.com today.
So right now may be the perfect time for you to rethink how you pay for health care. And here's why. Not only is it open enrollment for a lot of people, it's also a time you can join MediShare and save even more than usual. For many families, switching to MediShare saves about $500 a month, which is a game changer for a lot of people. And what's more, they like it. MediShare has double the member satisfaction rate compared to health insurance. Double. MediShare is a proven thing, too, for over 30 years. It's a Christian community of more than 400,000 members. And here's the thing. If you join before December 30th and you mention the promo code SHARE, you'll get another 10% off all of 2024. That's 12 months of savings. So I'll give you the number here in a second, but call. You'll get a price within 2 minutes. And again, the deadline is December 30th. So call now. You'll save even more. Here's the number. 844-43-BIBLE. That's 844-43-BIBLE. 844-43-BIBLE.
The 93X Half-Assed Morning Show, Backtracks Edition.
Dak Prescott, quarterback for the Dallas Cowboys. You guys are watching Hard Knocks, right?
Yep.
So did you see the episode, Josh, where I guess there was a clip in there somewhere where Dak Prescott talked about his fear of mascots?
Yeah, I saw that part. I haven't watched the whole thing yet.
That sucks.
I grabbed the audio. It's a little tough to hear, but hopefully this comes through.
I don't like mascots. When I was younger, I used to be scared of putting people in costumes. I used to think that would just be the best way to injure or hurt somebody if you wanted to. That's why I never did anything haunted. I used to tell my mom, that's the perfect place to kill somebody. Y'all think it's a fake chainsaw. I don't know I'm crazy. Put a blade on that bitch one day. That's stupid.
Doesn't like anybody in a costume, including mascots.
See, that I agree with Ashley. That would suck to be afraid of mascots. You're a pro ball player. You see one every Sunday. I love mascots.
Me
That's
too.
one of my favorite things about any level of sports. I love the mascot. I was the mascot at my high school for one day. They fired me after 5 minutes. True story. It's a true story.
I agree with him on the whole chainsaw thing, though. 'Cause
Okay.
I imagine he's talking about a haunted house and the guy with the chainsaw at the end, usually.
Yeah.
And you're worried that they're going to replace it with a real one?
Yeah, every once in a while I'm like, this would be perfect. Like if a serial killer just snuck into this, yeah.
See, but you have dark thoughts.
I do. That is true.
You were the one who got that serial killer quiz correct that we'd. So he's afraid of mascots. It was a little tough to hear, but he said about mascots, that's. I got it here somewhere. You think that's that person in the costume, you don't know who he is, okay? He's saying you shouldn't trust them because you can't see who they are. He's up to something. I used to tell my mom, Dak Prescott said, that's the perfect place to kill somebody.
Oh, jeez.
Like at a haunted house, he says, you think it's a fake chainsaw. You don't know if one of them put a blade on that bitch, I think he says.
Oh, my God.
Doesn't like mascots. I'm a huge fan. Now, there was a nationwide survey conducted, speaking of mascots. A promotional company specializing in logos and branding. They're called Quality Logo Products. They did a survey to determine the best mascots, the worst mascots in college sports. They determined that Oklahoma State University mascot Pistol Pete is the worst mascot in college sports. Can any of you picture Pistol Pete?
Oh, no. Yeah. He's so creepy.
He's like the cowboy with like the big head and on like a regular human-sized body.
Yes.
Yeah.
But you know who Pistol Pete looks like? He looks like Gary from Team America World Police.
Oh, yeah, with the facial hair, the eyebrows.
He is creepy looking.
You know, it's got the human-like face and the cowboy outfit.
This thing is so creepy. What?
They rank Pete as the third creepiest, the fifth most offensive, and Pete came in number one as the worst mascot. Now, if you're curious, the inspiration for Pistol Pete comes from a real-life cowboy named Frank Eaton, who was born in 1860. His father was killed by vigilantes, and then Frank tracked them down and killed the vigilantes. Eaton then became a cowboy. Pistol Pete the mascot came to life in 1958, the same year that Frank Eaton died. They also had a Sexiest mascot lineup. Sexiest. I don't really think about that
Me either.
when I'm
That's
looking
probably
at...
good you don't.
Is that proof that I'm...
I count that as a win.
Yeah.
proves that I'm not totally insane? All right, let me see if I can find I have some of it printed off, but then the printer, Josh, stopped working.
Well, here, do you want me to hand you a new one?
Yeah, give him a new one.
Leave this one right
Oh, I know I have the Sexiest mascot list in here somewhere. I'll get to it. But let me just tell you a little bit more. The best mascots in college sports, Goldie makes the top 10, and he should be number one.
Yeah,
he should be number one, especially when you get number one is Willie the Wildcat from Northwestern University.
Oh, come on.
Right. I mean, not that I don't dislike Willie the Wildcat. I almost don't dislike any mascot. But Willie, he's just kind of a dopey looking cat. Goldie is Goldie. He's awesome. So let me just give you the quick top 10 best. 10 is Joe Bruin and Josephine Bruin at UCLA. They're adorable together. 9 is Goldie. 8 is Freddie and Frida Falcon from Bowling Green State University. They look like a very happy couple. How can you have anything bad to say about number 7, Puddles, the Oregon Duck?
I love Puddles. Love him.
Puddles will grab a large popcorn out of a stranger's hand and just dump it into his beak.
Okay, that duck is adorable.
Shasta, the cougar from University of Houston, is number 6. Number 5, Bill the goat from the Naval Academy. 4 is the bird from the Air Force Academy.
Have you heard?
Yes.
Ryan, don't. That is a cool mascot.
You like the bird?
Yep. It's cool.
3, Southpaw and Miss Paula, I should say, from South Alabama.
Oh, I just Googled them. They look like a very happy couple.
They do.
2 is Pouncer from the University of Memphis. 1, again, Willie the Wildcat. Goldie deserves to be number 1.
Willie the Wildcat was also the sexiest.
Okay, so a lot of people from Chicago filled out this survey then. That's obvious, right?
Yeah.
The worst mascots, that's the one where I have to, the worst mascots. Chanticleer, the Coastal Carolina University, some kind of a bird. 9, the Demon Deacon from Wake Forest. I like him.
I think that's cool.
Kind of he's got the top hat on.
Yeah, motorcycle.
The Stanford tree is awesome. You don't know about the Stanford? You're a mascot fan. You don't know the Stanford tree?
No.
Check him or whatever, her, I don't know what it is, out.
What is that?
It's a damn tree, and it's got eyes and a mouth.
It looks homemade.
Yeah, that's what's so great about it.
Yeah. They've had this same, number 7, Flash the Golden Eagle from Kent State. These are the worst mascots. I don't know. He looks okay to me.
I like that one.
The Nittany Lion from Penn State. See, he looks like he costs 10 cents.
Yeah, that one's bad.
But they've had the same outfit since the beginning of time, so I have an appreciation for the Penn State setup. It's the same cheap-looking mascot outfit since the 1800s. The University of Hawaii Warrior is number 5. He's a dude wearing war paint and stuff. I guess I don't know what the problem is with that. The Rebel from Las Vegas.
Oh, that guy's creepy.
I like his mustache.
He's got a great mustache. A buddy of mine's dad looks exactly like that. Number 3 worst mascot is Cayenne. He's a pepper from Louisiana Lafayette. He's a pepper wearing a football outfit. I don't see what the problem is.
Well, he does have a I'm about to plan a scheme look on his face. Maybe that's what they mean.
It's up to no good.
You know, it reminds me of Wapple when I see a pepper somewhere involved in sports. Come on, dude. Curry Man.
Oh,
who's Curry Man?
Christopher Daniels, AEW wrestler Christopher Daniels, for a stretch of time, he was Curry Man. He came out dressed as a curry spice or whatever it is.
Yeah.
And his intro was, he's hot, he's spicy, he's Curry Man.
He had like orange flames coming up and a red mask.
I believe he would team up at times with Shark Boy.
Yeah.
Number 2 on the worst mascot list, and I've always hated Purdue Pete. I always have, with his big, giant, stupid face.
Yeah.
And then number 1, of course, we discussed is Pistol Pete.
Isn't there a Wisconsin mascot that looks like a popcorn holder?
Well, yeah, Bucky.
That's Bucky. Don't you hate Bucky?
Oh, I can't stand the sight of Bucky Badger. He's a skunk in a popcorn box.
He has no neck.
Which was, and a listener texted that to me years ago, and I've run with it ever since. Bucky Badger angers me. He's just a skunk in a popcorn box, and I'm happy that he didn't make any list. Randy Shaver, do you have a favorite mascot or anything like that?
Well, I was just going to say I grew up, with Herky the Hawkeye. That was the Iowa Hawkeye mascot. But then also at Iowa State, it's another bird. It's Cy the Cyclone, which I could never understand if you are the Cyclones, why it's a red bird? I never got that.
That's a good question. Why don't they have a spinning tornado type guy?
Yeah, I know. I just never got it. But I'm happy to hear that Cy made neither one of those lists because I don't think it deserves to be on either one.
Yeah, why the hell is it a bird? Why don't if Stanford can have a tree with eyes and a mouth, why can't Iowa State have a tornado with eyes and a mouth?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't understand it, but
yeah, my high school had a lightning bolt named Zap with eyes and sunglasses.
That's so lame.
Did you really?
Yeah.
I like that.
Why do you
I
call
like that?
I actually looked up why they picked a cardinal. It's because they said they thought it was too hard to think of a mascot that's a cyclone, so they landed on a cardinal because it's Iowa State colors.
Oh.
Yeah.
Because it's red.
Yeah.
Okay, I just received a text message that says, "Look up Gritty from the Philadelphia Flyers." What do you think? You're talking to an amateur? do I sound like some kind of novice or something? Of course I know Gritty.
We're not Tom Hanks that just got back from the Castaway Island. We've been on the internet.
No.
I love when Gritty and Philly the Fanatic get together. Oh, it's always a good time.
Oh my gosh. Dana sent me a picture of his high school's mascot. It's ridiculous.
I like
this, Nick.
It's a big blue lightning bolt with like sunglasses and a big dorky smile.
I think it's cool.
Yeah, you loved it when we were in high school.
It looks like an emoji.
Yeah, it does. It's got a butt chin.
Yeah, it does.
So, I mean, I think you've told us what kind of character you were in high school. You didn't sign up to be Zap, the mascot?
You think they would let me anywhere near that costume? They knew better than that.
True.
It's true that I got fired after 5 minutes as the Wayzata Trojan.
I love that story.
They gave me the gear, you know, and I wish I could have tucked myself into some kind of a foam outfit, but, you know, the Wayzata Trojan, I have no idea what they do nowadays. I'm not allowed anywhere near the school, but it's a joke. When I was there, your average high school kid, you put on the Trojan helmet, you put on the chest thing. What do they call that? The chest plate?
Oh, like the armor?
Yeah, it made you look like you had abs and such. Yeah,
yeah.
Chest plate, skirt,
ooh,
sword, shield, right? The two class presidents asked me to do it. And I wasn't exactly excited about it, but, you know, I did and still do love attention. So I said, sure, you know. And they said, okay, what we're going to do is at the homecoming parade, we'll introduce you as this year's mascot, and you come out and do whatever you want to do, and then say whatever you want to say on the mic, and then you get the hell out of there. So I came out onto the basketball court, and I did a little this and that, and then I got on the mic, and I made a joke about Trojan condoms.
Oh, boy.
Duh.
And the crowd went wild. Because we're high school kids.
Yeah, you knew your audience.
Yeah, high school kids. Of course, I think I said something like, I finally got a chance to wear a Trojan. Right? That was the joke.
Nice.
And I walk off the court thinking I just knocked it out of the park. And there is the principal or whoever they were, principal and vice principal, I think they were, and they were furious. Absolutely furious. You set me back 10 years. You know how long I've been trying to lose that stigma of the Trojan condom, and then you say it at our very own pep rally for homecoming. Oh, my God. All my years of fashion shows. That's a quote from Slapshot. We didn't go there, but he's furious. Furious. And then I lost my cool because I really didn't even want to do it. I was just doing it for fun and because my friends who were the class presidents asked me to. So then I lost my cool. And I throw the sword down the hall. Well, you can take this gear then and shove it up your ass. And I take off I'm standing in the hallway in my drawers.
The 93X Half-Assed Morning Show, Backtracks Edition.
Prepare yourselves for much whining and over-explaining. Dad Fights 69 plus 28.
Dad fights. Dad fights. Here's what it's like.
Dad Fights.
Dad fights. Randy and Brad, they just fight. And the dad fights. Yeah.
Yes, Dad Fights 69 plus 28. Randy Shaver versus Brad Ryder.
We're almost to 100.
Yes.
Getting there.
Wow.
We are getting there. Legendary sports broadcaster, the best ever, Vin Scully died this week. He was 94 years old. Tributes have poured in, and deservedly so. Goodbye, Vin Scully. There'll never be another. Dick Bramer's pretty damn close. And again, I think he'd kick our ass if you heard us say that, but Vin was 94. Clean living. That's what might get you living into your 90s. Cubby will likely make it. I'll be lucky to see another Christmas.
Come on.
Cubby will likely make it.
Men in my family don't live very long. 65, that's the cutoff.
We need a raise then.
Gotta live it up.
Gotta start stacking up some money before you
got
die.
under 20 years.
Make sure that life insurance policy is up to date.
You know what I mostly disliked? The 1990s. I mean, don't get me wrong. Today sucks worse than anything I could ever imagine.
Yeah.
Today sucks so hard, meaning like the last 3-4 years. I never anticipated this level of suck. We don't need to get too deep into that. Everybody knows. But I didn't like the 1990s. Mostly it was the music of the 90s that sucked.
Really? Okay.
And my work life also sucked in the 90s. Cubby saved my life. If Cubby hadn't come around, I would have drank myself blind and deaf years ago.
It's not true.
Tell you what, though, if you were in TV in the 1990s, you were doing pretty well.
Were those big money years?
Those were the years.
Why is that?
They just were. It was, 80s, the late 80s, all of the 90s, early 2000s. For local television, that was the time to be in local TV.
Is that because
it was really before cable news became really popular. It was before the internet became really popular. Yeah.
Okay. What?
That's where the money
makes
was.
sense.
Yeah, I get it. All right.
You got one place to go.
You have one place to go. Everybody watched local TV. There was not the partisanship that we see now. It was just it was a totally different vibe, and local TV was king at the time.
Well, good for you. And that sets things up perfectly, because today for Dad Fight 69 plus 28, we're going to get into pop culture events from the 1990s.
Okay, wow.
The this and the that from the decade that brought us, I don't want to say anything. I don't want to spoil anything. I'll just say the decade that came directly after the 80s. You got your television, your movies, your music, food, fashion. Any of these might be thrown your way in the form of a trivia question. I have an example question. A major rock act reunited in the 90s and then went out and sold out venues everywhere on Earth. Their reunion press conference was broadcast worldwide and held on a decommissioned World War II era Navy aircraft carrier called the USS Intrepid. The answer is Kiss.
Kiss.
And I love that story that they held their press conference on a damn aircraft carrier, and it gives me the opportunity to tell this funny story again. The proceedings were hosted that day by, at that point, a still struggling late-night television host by the name of Conan O'Brien, and he opened the event with the hilarious line that I will never forget, when Conan said, "Last week, when they asked me to introduce Kiss, I had just 2 questions. What time and what aircraft carrier?"
He's so good. He's brilliant.
The 90s, you guys.
The 90s.
I don't know how much fun you had. I didn't really dig it that much. He's a head-to-head competition. You're going to want to answer correctly before your opponent does. If you're correct, you'll hear the bell, and you get a point. If you're incorrect, the fart. That came from a Costco intercom.
Still gets me every time.
10 challenges plus a tiebreaker if needed. Here is retired Air Force Jesus, who probably loved grunge rock. He's going to go ahead and launch this pig off with a Dad Fights intro.
This is retired Air Force Jesus from North Branch, Minnesota. I'm the father of 6 young men.
Say what?
You know what they say about Nick's mom? Brad would ride her if Randy would shave her. You're listening to Dad Fights 69 plus 28 for Just Dad Fights 97. Ladies and gentlemen, let's get ready to mumble.
Oh my God.
There it is.
Golly, that's funny. Oh my gosh.
Gonorrhea.
Oh my God. Oh my God. What a great line. Oh my gosh.
He's a funny dude.
Oh my God.
He kept
That's hilarious.
He kept it short, and he knocked it out of the park.
Yeah.
Oh, my gosh.
Once he dumped that line, I thought, great line, but also I'm kind of surprised no one ever used that before.
That's hilarious.
From North Branch, if you guys know retired Air Force a little bit, don't you?
Mm-hmm.
When you look at him, doesn't it just scream North Branch? I mean, he looks like North Branch. There should be a
And he
picture.
hit
of-
every branch on the way down. That's what he looks like.
If you want to be like retired Air Force Jesus, we could use some more folks for Dad Fights intros. And Wample over there tells me just send us an email. 93xhams@gmail.com. 93x.
I think, isn't it Hams 93X?
Oh.
Yep, Ham's 93X.
I've never gotten that right. In when did we start with the emails? 15, 20 years
A couple
ago.
days ago.
What is it again?
Hams 93X.
Need your name, your Jesus name, your phone number, your email. We'll get you in there. All right, the 90s. Dad Fight 69 plus 28. Brad and Randy. Here we go.
Legs the frog. Squealer the pig. Spot the dog. Flash the dolphin. Splash the whale. Those were some of the names of this stuffed animal brand, which caused people to...
Beanie Baby.
Beanie Babies, that's
Very
right.
Nice.
Beanie Babies, Brad. HBO made a documentary about the Beanie Baby craze and how there's still people in debt who bought so many during the height of their popularity thinking the bubble would never burst.
Jeez, that's insane.
Yeah,
It is
sad.
insane.
It is
I
sad.
watched the documentary. It was, part of you kind of like wants to laugh at them, but the other part's like, wow, that is just really, really sad.
Oh.
There's people, their houses are just filled with Beanie Babies and thought they were going to be billionaires someday from selling these things off, and they're just stuck with tiny stuffed animals.
Right.
Did anyone get into it, the Beanie Baby thing?
I had a few just because they were fun.
No, never once.
1-0 for Brad Ryder. One big style trend in the 90s for women's was to get a haircut that mimicked that of the one Jennifer Aniston's character had on the television show
Friends.
Okay, Randy, try to jump in there, and I understand why. I'll finish the question. A haircut that mimicked that of the one Jennifer Aniston's character had on the television show Friends. What was that hairdo called? Brad Ryder.
I don't know. Everybody called it the Aniston haircut.
Close.
Oh, the Rachel.
There
The Rachel.
Nice.
Oh,
That's what
yeah.
it was.
It
My
was
bad. Yep.
called the Rachel.
Yeah.
Cute haircut.
Yeah.
It's a cute hairdo. AJ Styles has a good example of... because everything old becomes new again, Danalysis tells me, there are some recent articles saying the famous layered Rachel hairdo is coming back or already is back in style.
Makes sense.
Did you know that, Ashley? You're stylish.
No, I did not.
It's news to me as well.
Thank
So
you.
we
though.
stay at 1-0 Brad Ryder early in Dad Fight 69 plus 28.
The Brad Ryder birthday edition.
The Brad Ryder, I
Oh,
forgot
yes.
already. We you know what we should do for Brad's birthday? We should bless the mood.
Please.
There were plenty of workout trends in the 1990s, but a lot of dudes might remember this particular leg exercise because of the infomercials with Suzanne Summers. I'm sorry, you specifically were looking for the product. I didn't make that clear.
The Thigh Master.
That's right, Randy.
Yes.
The guy who invented the Thigh Master, he made a lot of money on it, but he made even more money by selling mood rings.
Oh,
What a combo.
That's where the big money is.
Mood rings.
funny.
The Thigh Master. Anybody try it?
No.
No.
Which movie? What movie is it where a guy is trying the Thigh Master and it
Oh, like
squirts?
shoots out.
It shoots out between his legs and breaks a window. Is that Austin Powers? Was he trying the Thigh Master? I think it's Austin Powers.
Yeah.
He's bored. You know, he just showed up in the 90s from the 60s, and he's trying all of the... Josh, you have the Megadeth album Rust in Peace?
Here at the...
No, in your
Oh,
collection.
no, I gave you all my albums. I stream them now.
Megadeth fans, remember the song Five Magics off of Rust in Peace? When you listen to it, you swear to God they're saying Thigh Master. Every time I hear that song, Megadeth fans know what I'm talking about. Every time I hear that song, and I listened to it yesterday, it sounds like they're saying Thigh Master. What did you say about the Thigh Master guy who invented it, Josh?
He made a lot of money off it, but he made more money selling mood rings.
Mood rings. We were just talking about blessing the mood.
Will you do this with me?
Oh,
Just because it'll make me feel good. It is time to bless the mood. Are you ready to
my God.
bless the mood? Are you ready to bless the mood?
We'll check back in, but I'm pretty sure everybody joins him any second. We can maybe check back in
Turns
later.
into a big sing-along.
So what the hell score are we at now?
1-1.
1-1.
1-1.
What the hell? 1-1. All right, here is number 4. Lots of people's first memories of the internet was using dial-up modem to sign into what service that...
AOL.
I don't know if I should count that because I don't know the internet.
Yeah,
That's correct.
Okay.
That's correct.
I wasn't expecting anyone to abbreviate American Online.
I didn't even know that's what it stood for.
me and you both, Ashley. Yes, the service that greeted you by saying you've got mail. Brad Ryder is correct. American Online. And check this out. This is very interesting. The guy who voiced that iconic saying, "You've got mail," was only paid $200.
Wow, really?
He probably thought it was not going to be that big a deal.
He was not given any royalties. Last check, he was working as an Uber driver.
Could you imagine if he just got a nickel every time that thing got played?
Yeah, really.
Right.
I wonder how often he does that for people once they figure out who it is.
Oh,
I wonder how many times a day he thinks about that.
Gosh, really.
I hope he's over it, but god dang.
I wouldn't be able to be.
2-1 Brad Ryder?
Yep, that's right. Let's see here. Why don't we go to
Terrible
question?
bell.
The bell had some trouble.
I was dribbling it.
Let's check back in with Matthew McConaughey and see if people really embraced what he was trying to do there.
Are you ready to bless the mood? I need some help, please. Are you ready to bless the mood?
Oh, my God.
Are you ready to? Come on now, give me some backup.
Oh, my God.
I hope someone gives him some backup.
I need some backup bad.
But don't you worry about my boyfriend. He's a boy whose name is Vitorino. I don't want him. Couldn't stand him. He was no good, so I ha 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 ha.
Macarena.
I didn't even have to finish That's great. The rest of the question are, those are lyrics to a song which turned into a massive 90s dance craze. What song?
How is that even possible that he knows that?
Oh, yeah.
Could that be the mystery song that sent Brad out
Oh, good question.
of the
He
U
did-
of M?
She's just dancing away doing the
Yes.
dance.
Yes.
I never would have got that. Never in a million years.
Brad Ryder, that was badass.
That was awesome.
That was.
Randy Shaver, I never, ever thought you would get whooped with a Macarena trivia question. I thought,
Why?
I really thought that one was going to belong to you and you alone.
Oh, gosh, no.
The Macarena.
VH1 named Los Del Rio the best #1 hit wonder of all time, or one-hit wonder of all time.
Yeah, gosh.
Yeah, they didn't really have a second one there, did they?
Nope.
Well, they may have, and we just kind of moved on. I don't know.
I never was a big fan of the song, but every once in a while I'd be at a wedding reception or some kind of beer party and they'd bust that sumbitch out and the girls would get to dancing and I would just fall smooth in love.
Bless the mood. 1, 2, 3. Are you ready
my
to
gosh.
bless the mood? Are you ready to bless the mood? Are you ready to bless the mood? Come on, CDC.
He's doing all right.
He's hanging in there.
Any second now.
Score check with Wapple. 3-1 Brad Ryder.
3-1 Brad.
A big change. A big change happened in the soda pop world in 1992 when what company released a crystal version of their
Pepsi.
There it is.
Oh, yep, you're right.
I thought the answer was meth.
Crystal meth.
Yeah, that changed the world, all right.
They released a crystal version of their flagship soda. Brad jumped in with Coke. Randy Shaver is correct. Pepsi. Super Bowl Sunday 1992 was when Pepsi put out a commercial showing Crystal, Pepsi, and they had the song Right Now by the Van Halens playing in the background. 3-2. We got a hell of a game here going.
There were plenty of celebrity scandals in the 1990s, including when this children's comedian got busted for hauling out his dong in an adult movie theater.
Wow.
Oh,
what's his name?
Shoot!
Oh, God. Pee Wee Herman.
Yes. We were looking for Pee Wee Herman.
Dang it.
Paul Rubens mostly shelved the Pee Wee character after the scandal.
Why couldn't I get that?
Yeah, well, it's one of those, you know it. You could probably picture him. Just couldn't come up with the name.
How do I get Macarena but not get that?
Yeah, that's tough.
God.
He's been bringing him back, the Pee Wee character, more and more the last few years. I love Pee Wee Herman.
I do too. I remember the first time he came back in character was at like the MTV Movie Awards, and he came on the Pee Wee costume, and he said something like,
Heard any good jokes?
Yeah, anybody hear any good jokes lately?
I think I've got that.
Oh, yeah, that was legendary.
Darn it.
Pee Wee, Paul Rubens.
Yeah.
He's a pretty good actor.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's funny.
I mean, that sounded silly. Just the fact that he could pull off Pee Wee as a grown man shows the talent that man had. I was about ready to say, only the roles he's had since then made him a good actor. I shouldn't have even thought that. Pee Wee, not a lot of people could pull that off.
Ladies and gentlemen, MTV is proud to introduce someone who has been a friend for a long time.
Thank you. Heard any good jokes lately?
He got a 2-minute standing ovation after that.
Oh, that's cool.
By the way, the scene where a grown man squirts a thigh master across the room, I had the right actor but the wrong movie. It is Mike Myers. It's not Austin Powers. It's So I Married an Axe Murderer.
Yeah. Oh, that's a good one. I like
It's
that.
a funny movie. 3-2 is our score in favor of Brad Ryder.
Darn it.
In 1994, this dramatic, real-life 90s moment captivated television viewers, and for at least
O.J. Simpson.
I'm going to need more specifics. I'm going to keep going.
The chase of O.J. Simpson.
Bronco chase.
I got it.
Randy Shaver. I'm going to count Randy Shaver for that one. Is that okay, official scorekeeper Wapple?
Yep.
It captivated, and at least for a couple hours, everyone was staring at their television, not willing to go anywhere.
Yeah.
It helped set national sales records at Domino's Pizza.
Yep.
And the correct answer, the O.J. car chase.
Yep.
Nice one. It also interrupted a pretty damn important basketball game, the 1994 NBA Finals. Now, conversely, according to Denalysis, Domino's said during the 5 minutes it took for the verdict for the O.J. Simpson murder trial to be read, not a single pizza was ordered in all of the United States. Everybody was hanging on that verdict.
That's so cool.
We're tied.
I believe it.
We are?
Yep.
I believe so.
Oh.
Okay, I've got Randy with 4. I must have written something down wrong.
Yeah.
I don't have 4.
Okay.
It's 3-3.
Wapple, the score.
3-3.
Who's leading?
It's a tie.
But led by whom? This famous fast food giant got a lot of buzz in 1992 when they started allowing customers to supersize their meals.
McDonald's.
That's right.
And Randy Shaver takes the lead.
They phased out the supersize in 2004 when they started opting for healthier options.
Flawless victory.
Oh, wrong one.
Finish it.
Flawless victory. 4-3, Randy. This is a big one for you, Brad Ryder. Brad, if you can get it, you'll tie. Force a tiebreaker. Randy gets it, he wins. Nobody gets it, Randy wins. His will be out of questions and regulation. And here it is. In 1996, something wonderful happened. The gorgeous and talented Spice Girls hit it big here in America, featuring Sporty, Ginger, Posh, Scary, and what fifth Spice Girl? Sporty, Ginger, Posh, Scary, and what fifth Spice Girl?
Baby.
Oh, jeez.
Ooh.
One of the most perfect specimens planet Earth has ever seen. Baby, by God, Woo, Mean Gene, Spice, and we're tied at 4. They've sold over 80 million records worldwide, making them the highest-selling girl group of all time.
We were mentioning it earlier. Ginger Spice turns 50 tomorrow.
Wow.
Wow.
Yeah, you've got a thing for Baby Spice. You kind of ignore the other Spice Girls.
I couldn't possibly care less if they lived or died. Couldn't care less. What was that song again? Two Become One. In the video with the Baby Spice, she's got like a fur coat on and a little dress, and she's singing about two become. This is a situation where, no offense, Dana, I wish we would have made a better effort on the tiebreaker.
Yeah.
It is pretty.
Well, we did have multiple meetings about this.
Yeah, I know, you're right.
Could have decided
But
that.
we're tired after the show.
Is an easy tiebreaker?
Maybe can we come up with a more difficult one on the fly? I don't know.
Oh, come on. Just stick with
No,
what
don't
you
give
got.
me this. Come on. We'll
Just stick with what you got.
Listen. We'll play "Bless the Mood" by Matthew McConaughey and come back with
Don't
another.
change the rules in midstream.
Are you ready to
Oh, gosh.
bless the mood? Are you ready to bless the mood? Here it is. Are we ready to bless the mood? It starts right now. Let's bless the mood. Hook 'em. Thank you, Austin.
Now, keep in mind, it's 52 seconds that nobody joined in if we played that whole thing. Not one person helped them out.
Oh, my God.
Josh,
well, the
what if-
mascot did, but he couldn't say a word.
I'm not saying this is the question for the game, but maybe this should be the question for the game. Before we were 93X, what was this station called? Started in the 90s.
Ended in the 90s.
Wow. No idea.
I don't no idea.
Okay, we won't use that one then.
Really? You guys don't know?
No.
Do you, Dana, you know.
Oh, The Edge.
Yeah, 93.7.
Oh, okay.
was
Yeah,
miserable.
I had heard of The Edge.
Oh, it sucked.
I used to listen to it on the school bus.
I hated it. I hated every single solitary second of it. So, I mean, I guess we got to go with what we got.
Yeah, let's go with
if
what
we
you
had
got.
time. If we had time to take a break or something like that. But it's Friday, and I don't really give that much of an F.
Let's go.
It's just.
It's my birthday. Just give it to me. I'm fine. I'm fine with that.
Birthday, just give it to me. I bet you're going to utter that again at some point.
Let's isolate that.
What was the only Minnesota professional sports team in the 19...
Twins.
That was a great comeback, Randy Shaver.
Thank you.
Wait a minute. Hey, it's my birthday. Just give it to me. That
Yeah.
was too easy. Son of a bitch. Randy was down 3-1, wasn't he, Wapple?
Yeah.
And I screwed up Pee Wee Herman. I knew it. I just couldn't think of the. I could see him. I couldn't think of his name.
Did you have your brain wrapped around any kind of an alternate question, Cubby?
No.
No.
I was afraid. I wanted to make sure we looked up the answers and make sure it was correct. But that Edge one was a good one, I thought.
That was a good one.
The Edge. You guys, nice job. And Brad, an extra special happy birthday to you.
Yeah,
Thank you.
Brad.
Appreciate it.
Half-assed morning show.
They're loud, they lose control, they do their little circus act, they're a nuisance.
93X.
Grace here, customer service rep at Standard Heating. I'm proud to work for a company that understands and takes care of our fellow Minnesotans. Our weather here can be a little unpredictable and even extreme. That's why we've been here for 93 years and counting, to keep our community safe and comfortable.
On behalf of myself and Standard Heating and Air Conditioning, we would like to wish you a very happy holidays. And don't forget, Standard Heating and Air Conditioning is open 24/7 for emergency services to make sure you stay warm this holiday season. Go to standardheating.com today.
So right now may be the perfect time for you to rethink how you pay for health care. And here's why. Not only is it open enrollment for a lot of people, it's also a time you can join MediShare and save even more than usual. For many families, switching to MediShare saves about $500 a month, which is a game changer for a lot of people. And what's more, they like it. MediShare has double the member satisfaction rate compared to health insurance. Double. MediShare is a proven thing, too, for over 30 years. It's a Christian community of more than 400,000 members. And here's the thing. If you join before December 30th and you mention the promo code SHARE, you'll get another 10% off all of 2024. That's 12 months of savings. So I'll give you the number here in a second, but call. You'll get a price within 2 minutes. And again, the deadline is December 30th. So call now. You'll save even more. Here's the number. 844-43-BIBLE. That's 844-43-BIBLE. 844-43-BIBLE.
The 93X Half-Assed Morning Show, Backtracks Edition.
You guys hang out on Reddit now and again?
Sure.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, once in a while.
Really? Yep. What was that Reddit page, Josh, that you introduced me to a decade ago when I couldn't stop touching myself?
Well, I can't take credit. That was retired Air Force Jesus. I believe, who told you about Gone Wild.
There you go. Yeah. I almost ended up in the hospital for how many days I stayed awake looking at Reddit Gone Wild.
Like that episode of Family Guy where Quagmire discovers there's porn on the internet and they don't see him for a couple days and he comes out and his left hand is just fully jacked and he's got a beard and a look in his eye like, what day is it, guys?
Yeah, I remember that.
I've been looking at that internet.
I would have been hospitalized maybe for just malnutrition. I just didn't do anything but look at those. So has anyone seen the post on Reddit about a child and eating dog feces?
Yeah, the picture's a little rough. Dang it. Sorry about the pun.
Yeah. You're just an unintentional pun machine.
Yeah. Hey, before we move on, I found that Quagmire clip.
Oh.
You want to play that?
Hey, Quagmire, what do you got there?
It's the new Sports Illustrated swimsuit issue. Check it out.
Those swimsuit issues don't excite me like they used to. I've been spoiled by internet porn.
It's true.
Totally.
What do you mean, internet porn?
You, don't know about internet porn?
Don't know what? I'm not really a computer guy.
Quagmire, I would think you, of all people, would know about internet porn.
They've got like thousands, literally millions of naked pictures on the internet.
What?
And videos, thousands of them.
You guys are messing with me.
Quagmire, you don't use the internet?
You mean that crappy dial-up thing that's a pain in the ass? No, I don't use the damn internet. I thought that was for nerds. Why didn't you guys tell me?
Oh, yeah, you can even see Tanya Harding's honeymoon video on there. I mean, it's gross, but it's like famous gross.
So good.
All right, so Reddit users have been criticizing the parents of a child who appeared in a "Don't Eat Dog Poop" ad. A photo of the ad was uploaded by a Reddit user called Young White Claudia. I'm only mentioning this in case Reddit people are sensitive about getting credit for certain things. So a photo of the ad was uploaded to Reddit with the caption, "Imagine growing up and finding out your parents allowed you to appear in an ad that depicted you eating dogs." The image shows a child with dog poo across their face and hands with the warning, "To her it looks like chocolate, but one lick and she could lose her sight." Many viewers, or whatever you call it, users of Reddit, were kind of confused by this, and I'm one of them. Is this a problem with children? Do they bend over and eat dog feces?
Not that I'm aware of.
Josh, you're the father here. Your kids ever, just go for a snack in the backyard?
No, they've never even expressed an interest in it.
I've seen dogs do it, sometimes of eating their own.
Sure, I have a dog that would do that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I've known a dog or two that's done that, and I hated it every time.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so over 16,000 users have upvoted the post, whatever that means, and hundreds continue to comment on this effing deal. One user basically said, "I've never met a child who is this dumb." And I want to get back to this part of the story, too. One lick and she could lose her sight. So if children or maybe adults eat enough dog feces, do they go blind?
I never knew that was a problem, you know?
I thought that was just masturbation that did that. I'd never heard that about eating feces.
This whole thing is so bizarre. I am a little thrown by it. One user wrote, "Surely the smell would be enough to put a child off of eating dog feces." All right, be honest, and parents in our listening audience, have you caught your children eating dog feces? I have to know for sure if this is really a thing or not.
Or cat. Have they reached into the litter box?
68683, start your message with Nick, Josh, or Dana. We won't say who you are. We won't throw you under the bus like that.
We're not going to call Child Protective Services or anything.
So I looked some stuff up, and it looks like they have over 100 cases every year of partial blindness in children from eating dog poop.
You are effing kidding me.
Wow.
And good on you for looking that up, Wapple. Johnny on the spot. That is incredible.
Yeah, and it looks like just one pile of dog poop can do it to you because it contains 1 million round worm eggs.
All dog poop does, or just if it has it in there?
All dog poop does.
Wow, so not even if it's the right batch of dog poop.
So it can give you stomach aches, throat infections.
Oh, I bet it could give you a stomach ache.
Bad breath? Does it mention bad breath?
Terrible breath. Asthma, you said? Asthma?
Yeah.
I'll give you asthma.
Medical coding Jesus said, my friend's daughter ate dog poop when she was less than a year old. She's completely blind at 5. I mean, completely fine at 5.
Here's a listener saying that bird poop will make you go blind. I had no idea about any of this.
This person said, my kids have caught me eating dog poop. What do I do?
Setting a bad example there.
It's a popsicle.
Well, here's a listener who says, my youngest puts everything he sees in his mouth. So this listener says, I could see it happening someday, but it hasn't happened yet. My kid would pick up the chicken poop and try to hand it to me, says Joe Bob Jesus.
Oh, nice. That's a nice little present.
Wow, this is just a completely different outlook on life here.
I remember as a kid, we would have worksheets where you put Mr. Yuck stickers on things like bleach or, antifreeze, like windshield wiper fluid, like don't drink this is bad. But they never told us anything about dog crap back in elementary school.
No, not a damn thing. Here's a listener who says, my daughter has eaten cat turds. I almost threw up when I found out about it, and she couldn't be bothered. Not a big deal, Mom.
Well, you put a little buffalo sauce on them, they're great.
That'd be good to hold over your kid, though. Next time your kid gives you a smart mouth, maybe when they're 17, 18.
Yeah.
Hey, aren't you that cat poop eater?
Yeah.
I do know, this is the only story I can tell you about children and dog turds, is I had no idea this was a problem. And that fact or that stat that Wapple read us is incredible. 100 kids a year do go blind, you said?
Yep, partial blindness.
Partial blindness from eating.
Does it say if it's permanent or temporary?
Doesn't
Sorry to
say.
put you on the spot. I've never heard that.
So I knew this one couple who just were terrible about cleaning up the dog turds in their backyard. I am... God, come on. Give me a word other than anal to use in this story. I am a stickler for that. I go out there almost every day. When I was a kid, we had a couple of dogs, and my brother and I were lazy. We never cleaned up the dog turds in the yard. We were always stepping in it, but we were too lazy and just stupid to do anything about it. So now as a grown person with my own property, I am a stickler for it. I knew this couple who just never bothered picking up the turds, and they also had a couple of young kids, and the kids would go play in the yard and come back to the house for dinner just covered in turds. Oh, we got to wash the dog turds off the kids again. Well, go out there with a shovel, for Pete's sake.
Yeah. It's much easier to do it one or two at a time than it is to go out there and deal with 300 landmines all over the backyard.
This person says, all of my kids have eaten horse turds.
Oh, my God.
Oh, sort of that one Philadelphia fan after they won the Super Bowl. Remember that? The Eagles?
Oh, yes, I do. At the parade.
Yeah, the parade or the celebration. Yeah, he got the police horse crapped, and someone's like, eat it! And he just grabbed a handful and shoved it down his mouth.
Yes, I remember that video.
Wait, Wapple, didn't you say you needed glasses?
Yeah, back in the day.
Are you a turd eater?
Maybe I am. I kicked the bucket a while ago. That's why I got my vision back.
You died a while ago.
Were any of you known as the kid who would eat this and that and this and that around the house?
No.
My parents have never told me one story where, well, there was one. They gave us plastic toy cowboy 6-shooters with plastic bullets, and I did decide to swallow one of the bullets, and my mother had to fish it out of my poop. I don't know why she... just to make
sure it passed?
Just to make sure it was there, yes.
I was going to say, I know why, because a friend of mine, he ate a Lego, and I remember his parents telling us about it, and they had to wait for it to make sure it came out.
But were any of you, any stories your parents have told you about, a little Wapple upped and ate the rat poison or anything like that?
Mm-mm.
Okay.
No, I was such a picky eater that I wouldn't even consider eating something that wasn't... Yeah, I was terrified.
Yeah.
No. Especially no dog turds.
Yeah, I had no idea about this kind of thing. So again, the part of the story is that Reddit users are upset at the parents of this child for putting him or her in this ad. You know, when this child grows up.
Well, I think I'd have a good sense of humor about it. I might be like, well, I hope you got a lot of money for that. Because it is kind of gross when you look at it.
I don't even think I could look at it. Because as it's described here in the story, the child has...
It's everywhere.
Feces on its face and mouth and hands. It's just, my God. I mean, now that I know of this about children, next time my yard, let's say I get lazy for a while again, like when I was a kid. Let's say my yard becomes overwhelmed by dog bombs. I'll just ring the dinner bell for the neighborhood kids, I guess. And
that's the way to go.
By the end of the afternoon, it'll all be taken care of.
Free turds.
Now, have you ever had to haul off and make a deuce in the woods?
Yes.
Not that I would think I'd remember. I'll say no.
I have. Dana?
Not in the wood. I have to do it outside, but not necessarily in the middle of the woods or anything.
Wappa, what was your situation? Camping trip, frisbee golf adventure? Were you running from the police? What was the situation?
Actually, yeah, frisbee golf. There wasn't a porter potty around.
Porter potty?
There wasn't a porter potty,
yeah.
huh?
Yeah.
Okay.
So you just went in and made sure there's no poison ivy down there and let it fly?
Yeah, what did you do? So you weren't prepared for this?
No, so I walked in the woods, got some leaves, and then just pulled down the pants, did my business, and wiped it with the leaves.
You really used leaves?
Yeah, went on my way.
Did you not have a pair of socks on?
Oh, I didn't think of that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. That's the move.
You know, I remember you telling me this story. Didn't you also forget you brought toilet paper with you?
Yeah. I always have toilet paper in my car.
I remember you feeling really stupid afterwards.
Well, I used to have to deuce in the woods when I was a kid. We'd go on Canadian fishing trips, and we would camp on an island, or I shouldn't say camp. We would stop for shore lunch on a random island in the middle of nowhere. So there were a handful of times where I had to sit on a log. But we had toilet paper in the boat, you know, for such situations.
Magazines.
But you know, I landed a few wood ticks in the process, but nothing terrible. And then Josh knows the stories about my emergency outdoor deuces.
You've had a lot of those.
I had to use a pair of my underwear. Leaves, I always heard you can use leaves, but I always thought that sounds damaging.
Yeah, that just sounds, like you're going to get a rash.
Well, it could be.
Luckily, I used my socks and my underwear when I was in an emergency. Yes, Wapple.
It could be dangerous if you don't know what leaves you're grabbing.
Yeah, and I would not know what leaves I'm grabbing.
I accidentally used a pine cone.
Oh, God. One of my buddies had a funny moment when we were junior high kids. He had to deuce in the woods behind our elementary school. I don't know why we were back at the elementary school, but we were horsing around junior high age. My buddy had to go back in the woods and take a deuce, an emergency deuce. He wiped with his underwears, and then we ran his underwears up the flagpole. We ran his drawers up the flagpole at our elementary school, our old elementary.
You should have done it half staff for the underwear, you know? Out of respect for the ruined underwear.
You stand below and salute it. It was a good pair of Zoomers.
Poland's state forestry agency has put up signs showing people what to do if they have to take a dump in the woods. The notices are titled, How to Do a Poo in the Woods, and they contain 5 illustrated steps advising visitors to this particular forest on how to drop a number 2, skis.
It's helpful.
Well, I hope so. I hope it is helpful. One of the signs has a specially labeled shovel alongside it to help people bury they turds.
Oh, I didn't even think of that.
Yeah, that's what you're supposed to do, isn't it? Supposed to bury them?
You know, when I was a kid, like I mentioned on those Canadian fishing trips, I don't think I ever buried it. I just walked away.
I know on the show Survivor, they're told to always bury your turds.
Are they?
Mm-hmm.
So they got a special shovel there for you.
Out of respect?
Yeah, for the fallen.
They advise folks in the forest who find themselves in this situation, they advise them to go deep in the woods, properly cover it up so that no one stumbles upon your surprise, they say. If paper is used, it should be buried along with the poop. If none is available, they suggest dry moss makes a useful alternative. The spokespeople from the state forest there in Poland say within a few hours, this is a good breakfast talk here. If you're not already, Christ, what am I saying?
I already got an FU.
10 minutes ago, we were talking about children eating turds, so forget about your breakfast. State forests say within a few hours, forest beetles will take care of your poo. And there won't be any trace of it. Within a few hours? Really?
They're hungry. Just like the kids.
Yeah, somebody told me what you have to do is you hang it in a tree so the bears don't eat it.
There is a term for burying your feces covered with paper. It's called papierzaki in Poland. They say so you take a dump in the woods. The moss the beetles will eat it up. The moss will continue to grow. And the next folks who visit the forest will not see a load of papierzaki, which is your turds covered in paper. And they can walk with a smile, they say.
Yeah, stepping in human turds is even worse than stepping in animal turds.
I agree with that.
We were at
I don't know that I've ever stepped in human.
Yeah, I don't think I have either.
What the hell's going on?
Well, never by accident.
My wife and I my ex-wife and I, we went to a restaurant once, and we park and we get out, and she steps, out of the car. She's like, "Oh my God, I just stepped in dog crap." And I come and look, and just the size of it, I'm like,
"Oh no,
there's no way a dog laid that turd. You just stepped in human crap." She was no longer hungry.
Oh no. Here's a guy texted in and said, some douche took a poop in my shed one time. Yeah, that was me. That was me. And I feel terrible about it. I remember once when we were teenage kids up at my dad's fishing shack, we were having a rock throwing contest, trying to see if anyone could throw a rock across the river. We were 17, 18-year-old kids. This was kind of fun. We were still in shape. We could throw a rock a long damn ways. There were always dogs running around that property at my dad's old fishing shack. Some of them belonged to us, some of them did not. But so there was always dogs around. And one of my buddies, he wants to win this rock throwing contest like real bad. He takes this huge running start. He's barefoot. And before he launches the rock, he goes, for God's sake. We look down. He stepped in the biggest pile of dog crap you've ever seen. It is perfectly squished up between his toes. It was just...
The 93X Half-Assed Morning Show, Backtracks Edition.
Amazon just unveiled the new fitness tracker. Anybody got a fitness tracker?
No.
Nope.
This one's called the Halo Band, and there's a feature called Tone, T-O-N-E, that tracks your voice and tells you if you're being a prick or not. The AI... Is that artificial intelligence?
Yeah.
Okay. The AI in this new fitness tracker analyzes your voice and tells you what you sound like to other people. Things like happy, hopeful, confused, worried, affectionate, bored, and apologetic. And it's supposed to help with communication skills at work and in relationships. Okay, are we so dumb now that we need a watch to tell us when we're being jagoffs?
Yes. I mean, no, to answer your question, I don't know that it's dumb. I think this is very helpful.
Okay.
Now, I'm never going to buy one, but I get that at home where I say something and I'm in a perfectly fine mood. Everything's great. And then, what's with your tone? Like, what do you mean, what's with my tone? And I've been told that I sound like I'm upset when I'm not at all, not even close.
Okay.
And this happens at home, I wouldn't say, kind of often, actually.
Yeah.
Maybe every few weeks. Or you definitely get this. Why are you yelling at me? Hey, I grew up in a household where the dad yelled. You've never heard yelling in your life. I don't yell.
Now that you mention it, this would be valuable for you because you've told these stories before and they're always entertaining that whether it be your RBF, resting bitch face, or something about your delivery, your family members aren't the only ones who read this from you, and you have to say, whoa, wait a minute. No, I'm not upset at all. This is a common occurrence for you.
Oh, the face thing, definitely. I just have a dumb face that I don't know how to control.
Stupid face.
I know. I remember I'd hear that. Hey, is everything all right? You know? Like, yeah, what do you mean? Well, you look like something's bothering you. I'm like, no, it's just my face is stupid. I can't control it. I don't know what's going on.
All right. I got that yesterday from the roommate. I was sitting outside on the patio, and I was not thinking about anything, which is a beautiful feeling. It doesn't happen enough in my life. I was just completely lost in space. And she looked over and said, "Are you okay?" So I can't imagine what kind of look I must have been presenting, but I have to say it was probably the most peaceful moment I'd had in years. but somehow my face was projecting something completely different.
Well, now what happens is I second guess everything. You've heard me in here before say, okay, I've been told I'm not good at judging my tone. So I have to explain it. I'm sure you've heard me say that because I don't know how it's coming across sometimes. Maybe I take that back. I think I know, but then I'm told that's not how it came across.
Maybe I just get you even more than your family does because we have seen each other pretty much every day for the last 20 years. But I don't get that from you. There is an obvious difference in me, if you ask me, between regular Josh and upset Josh. How people are confusing the two, I don't know. You are very obvious when you're pissed. And it is interesting what some people consider yelling. Like the way I'm coming off right now. There are people that consider this yelling. Yeah. This is nothing.
All right, so, I'm glad I'm not alone. Thank you, Brotherhood, for making me feel better. A lot of people are texting in saying they, too, have been accused of having resting bitch voice.
Resting bitch voice.
And it's horrible because then you wonder, well, how many people have I upset thinking I was upset when I wasn't at all? And then I second guess my tone constantly. I'm always thinking about it. So to the point where I probably sound stupid saying, I have been told I can't judge my tone.
That's interesting.
I'm literally tone deaf, if you ask my family.
Yeah. I don't know. I can read you pretty easily. By the way, the Brotherhood, the all-knowing Brotherhood, has proved themselves again. Sam Elliott's character name from the movie Mask, Gar.
I never would have remembered that.
His name was Gar. By the way, dairy intern Jesus says it's raining like two cows pissing on a flat rock in Maiden Rock right now, Wisconsin. That's Wisconsin, right? Maiden Rock? Somebody help me out.
I think so.
Thought it was Wisco.
I've certainly heard of it.
I know it's raining really bad here right now.
It is.
Hey, whoa, what's your problem? Jeez. You hear the tone of her voice? By the way,
what's your problem?
Oh, God, here we go.
Oh, sorry, did I blow up?
Yeah. This tracker, whatever they call it, this fitness tracker, it does the fitness tracking that you'd expect it to do, counting steps and things like that. It's $99 on Amazon, but you can request early access and get it for $65 right now. You also have to subscribe to the tracking app for $4 a month, but the first 6 months are free. Look it up if you feel like it. The latest fitness tracker will tell you how you're coming off.
This text says, I hate the term resting bitch face. I'm not resting. I put a lot of effort into looking this unapproachable.
Hey, man, that would be a great skill. To be able to look unapproachable.
All I have to do is have my normal face, apparently, according to some people.
That's not true. Because what I mean is, when we do social events, which will never be back, we will never have another radio station party. I'm convinced of it at this point. When we do station events, people love to come up and talk to you.
But I mean, my face is just stupid. Some people are texting in saying they get asked, are you having a good time? And I get asked that too.
Oh, yeah, I get that too. Yeah.
But I never, you don't want to make a big deal out of it and be like, what do you mean? You just have to say, yeah, everything's good.
Okay. Now, I can relate to that. I don't often hear people say, what's with your tone? Why are you yelling? I don't have that problem like you do. At station events, specifically, is what's going through my mind right now. At damn near every one of them, someone has walked up and said, you not having a very good time, huh? And I have to say, no, I'm fine. So maybe I have a dose of that resting bitch face. At radio station appearances just with myself, bar gigs over the years, I've often had people walk up and say, wow, you look like you really hate this stuff. And I have to say, I often have to explain myself that, no, I'm in a completely normal mood, not one way or the other. I'm fine. So
maybe what we should do is bring back those hyper-color T-shirts and have them be mood-related.
Hyper-color T-shirts. Oh, yeah.
Remember those where your body heat would activate the shirt and it would change colors?
Mm-hmm.
We could do that with emotions. Although yours would probably be whatever color horny is.
Oh, what color is horny? Is it pink?
Purple? Pink, yeah,
pink or purple? Irritated?
Oh, look, that Nick's horny again.
Yeah. Emotions are taking me over. Remember when the Bee Gees sang that to you? But where I was going with this, if I was able, wouldn't this be valuable, Josh, if we could flip a switch and make ourselves completely unapproachable? In certain settings, that would be very valuable. Do you understand where I'm going with this?
Well, maybe I need an example.
Like at a wedding reception or something. I don't really want to be talked to. I just want to sit here until this disaster is over. In situations where you don't want to talk.
Sure.
To be able to project, wow, I'm not going to go over and talk to that dude. I'd like that.
I coined the term bitch face in the early 90s because I have one. Nothing resting about it. It's full-on bitch. That's from First Bitch Face
Jesus.
Another text says, nothing will make me yell louder than when my wife asks why I'm yelling when I'm not.
Oh, yeah.
That is frustrating. I'll tell you what.
Pisses me off.
Why are you yelling at me? I don't know if you've ever heard yelling. If you think that's yelling.
It's all in the upbringing, I guess.
Maybe.
If you didn't have parents that really raised hell when you screwed up, then I guess you've never heard yelling.
I mean, I'm conscious of it because, like I said, my dad would yell. It took almost nothing to get him there, too.
Pretty much all of us yelled. All we did between my 5th and 20th birthday was yell at each other. That's all all communication was yelling.
The 93X Half-Assed Morning Show. 93.
The 93X Half-Assed Morning Show podcast is sponsored by Standard Heating and Air Conditioning. New episodes drop each weekday. If your podcast platform has ratings, go ahead and give us 5 stars and maybe give our enemies 1. Thanks, and here's a word from our sponsor.
On behalf of myself and Standard Heating and Air Conditioning, we would like to wish you a very happy holidays. And don't forget, Standard Heating and Air Conditioning is open 24/7 for emergency services to make sure you stay warm this holiday season. Go to standardheating.com today.